Hi guys, this is Neverending Reader. I'm Brittany and today is like a mashup video. I'm going to quickly talk about the books that I read in September, and then I'm going to show you the books that I hauled in September. So let's jump into it. So the first book that I read in September was The Good Girl by Mary Kubica. This is a thriller about a girl named Mia, and she has been kidnapped by a man named Colin, I believe. Yeah, Colin. So, it was like a 3-star read for me. You kind of follow two different storylines and, well, I guess timelines. So the first timeline that you follow is Mia, after she has been kidnapped. After Mia has been kidnapped, she has been found, and this timeline kind of follows her like recovery process from being kidnapped and all of that, and she has like no recollection of being kidnapped, who took her, what she did when she was kidnapped, anything. She like barely knows who she is. So that was an interesting part of the story. And then you're also following a different timeline where you're getting Colin's point of view and Mia's mother, and this is when Mia is missing. Oh, I'm sorry, you're getting also a point of view from a detective who I just don't really care for detective stories, so like I just cancel him out of the book. He was pretty irrelevant to me. Overall, the characters were okay, the story was okay, the plot twist was okay. I am looking for better diversity in books and better, when it comes to thrillers, better plot twists also, because I'm bored. And so yeah, just 3 stars. It could have been better. The next thing that I read in September was Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. My copy is beat up. I've had this since, I think this is the first one that I ever got when it was released, so it's pretty old. I'm not gonna sit here and lecture you about Harry Potter. It was a 5-star read for me. I'm glad to have read it and I really enjoyed myself as usual, so yeah, 5 stars. And the last book that I read in September was Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I'm sure you guys probably already know what it is. I've explained it in a few other videos, but also, like, so has everybody else on BookTube, so I'm not going to sit around and bore you. I liked the main character. I think her name was Audrey Rose. Yeah. I liked, like, the science part of this, to where she was, like, in the lab, you know, like, doing her forensic stuff. I really enjoyed that. So like this book started out really strong for me, and then kind of like dwindled off the deep end a little bit in the middle, when they were like more investigating the murders and who Jack the Ripper was and all that stuff, and it was just I didn't like that part of it, but then again, I don't really like investigation type of stuff, so yeah, I think this will be really interesting as a series though, so I would love to continue on. I really like the romance in this. I'm not really sure if it qualifies as like a full romance, but I did enjoy it. I think that the love interest was like really snarky and witty, and I loved that, and I loved how Audrey Rose was just like the most feminist woman ever. Loved her. And the whole like atmosphere was very like interesting and spooky, and you were just like really, I'm just like living for this atmosphere. So I did give it 3 stars just because like the investigation like just kind of bored me a little bit, but I suspect the rest of the series will get a higher rating from me. So on to the portion of this video that is the haul. These are all of the books that I acquired in September. There are 6 of them. I'm first going to show you my 2 middle grade books that I bought. You will find it on this channel that I regularly buy middle grade books, and that is because I have 2 children. So we will be reading these together at some point, but also I just like middle grade and I'm unashamed about it. So the first book I have is by Brian Jacques, and that is Redwall. I believe these are like pretty popular. They were probably popular when I was a kid. I just never read them, I don't think. And so this one, from what I can gather, is about a mouse, and he like lives in this happy mouse community, and one day there's like this shadow, and it's like very bad business, and he needs to like defeat the shadow something, and it's like something to do with like an evil rat, I think. And then he goes on a quest for like a magic sword. So yeah, I think this will be really cute to read with the kids, and it is very long. So the second book that I acquired in September is also by Brian Jacques, and that is Castaways of the Flying Dutchman. From what I can tell, this is literally about castaways from the ghost ship, the Flying Dutchman, and he has to go to like a 19th century village and like save it somehow. So I thought that was interesting, and it's also pretty long, but I will enjoy getting to this with my kids in the future. I also picked up Witches of East End by Melissa De La Cruz. So this is about witches, and there's like a mom and her two daughters, and they're witches, and it's like a big secret, obviously. So they like live in this town, and one of the daughters is planning a wedding, but then like a mysterious man shows up, and like there's secrets and deceit, and they have to like do some magic and stuff. So honestly, I watched the first season of this show because it was adapted into a show, and I don't remember much about it. I just remember like enjoying it. So hopefully this is pretty good. The next book I bought was The Outliers by Kimberly McCreight. I think this is a thriller. It certainly looks like a thriller. I mean, that cover is pretty intense. And so I really don't want to look at the back of this because I don't like knowing anything about my thrillers, just like most of you guys. But the only thing that I am willing to look at on the back here says that it is the first book in a trilogy, and also it's about a friend who goes missing and is sending like cryptic text messages to I think her friends or boyfriend about where she is, and there's like some lies and a mystery. So yeah, that should be interesting. The next book that I got in September was my book of the month pick, and that is Cross Her Heart by Sarah Pinborough. I picked this, and once again, it is a thriller, so I don't really want to know much about it. The tag that I saw on the inside cover here said that like there was like a broken promise, and promises aren't meant to be broken, and now she'll pay for it and stuff. So I picked this because it looked like a pretty interesting thriller, but upon receiving it, I looked up Sarah Pinborough, and she wrote the story Behind Her Eyes, and I had completely blocked it out of my memory that I read that book because I hated it. So hopefully I like this one significantly more than that one that I had read by her before, because otherwise I'm going to like have to trade this with somebody because I really hated her first one. And the last book that I got is the one that I'm most excited for, and that is Two Dark Reigns by Kendare Blake. I've been obsessed with the Three Dark Crown series since it came out, and I'm very excited to start reading this one. I think I'm going to read it in November because I'm like itching to get to it. So I'm not going to sit here and like bog you down with the synopsis of this really. The first book was about three triplets. They're triplets, so there's three of them. Okay, Brittany, you are super smart right now. But the three triplets have been like raised separately by different communities that have like different special powers. So one of them is like a naturalist, and one of them can survive any sort of poison and things like that. And as they grow up, they have to fight each other in this like battle style thing to become the queen. So they have to kill their sisters to become the queen. That's just how it works in their like fantasy life or whatever. So yeah, that was like a really poor explanation, but honestly you guys already know what it's about, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But I am very excited to have this, and I want to read it immediately. So that is my wrap-up / book haul for September. Stay tuned because my Spookathon TBR will be going up hopefully as soon as possible because I need to get that up and out there. So I will see you in the next video. Bye!